In today's episode of Value in My Toy Collection, we are going to value some vintage dolls and just a ton of Barbies and all kinds of miscellaneous things. And stay until the end of the video because we're going to give you our overall grand total of what our collection is worth so far. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum. So it's finally happened. I've bought a building and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection. And then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of Value in My Toy Collection and value some toys. Well, let's jump right in and start valuing these toys. This vintage green doll from the 60s is worth about $15, and this Bradley lamp is worth about $50. Then we have these dolls in the boxes from Dolls of the Nations. These are those type of dolls that when you lay them down, they open and close their eyes. A lot of people are freaked out about those, especially my nephew PJ, not to call him out. He hated those growing up. It freaked him out big time. But these are all in the box. We have 6 different ones, and they're worth about $20 each. So that's about $120 worth of these box dolls we can add to our overall grand total at the end of the video. There's one more in the back. Everybody saw these little bells in the 70s. They're from Jasco. And I remember being in elementary school when we had a fundraiser, and this is one of the things we had to sell, these little bells. So maybe that's one of the reasons they're everywhere now. But we have a total of 19 of these bells, and they're worth approximately about $6 each. So 19 times 6 is $114 worth of these small bells. Now this last one's not Jasco, but it's probably worth about $6. That little figurine in the back's worth about $5, and these little figures made out of beads and safety pins are all worth about $5 each. This little ceramic girl here, she's worth about $5, and this big resin doll in the full skirt, she's worth about $10. Then this ceramic, when someone put lace on it and then they shellacked it to make it hard, she's worth about $15. Have a Betsy Ross music box here, she's worth about $18. Then we have this little Spanish girl with a guitar that's also a music box worth about $15. And another one of those dolls that someone just painted blue, but this one's a trinket box and she's worth about $12. Then we have 4 of these ceramic girls from the 1970s. I think every little girl had these in their room growing up, and they're all painted different ways, and they're worth about $10 each. So that's $40 more to add to our total. Now this is an Atlantic mold statue, and she's worth about $15. And then this vintage lady with the dog who is fabulous, she's worth about $20. I love this one a lot. And then we have this old lady ceramic that I really like, and she's worth about $20. All right, we have some more Bradley dolls. This one with the brown and cream is worth about $15 with the realistic face. They're marked Bradley on the bottom. And this one in the yellow is worth about $10. And then we have this one with the apron on. She's worth about $12. We have this really tall blue floral one worth about $15, and another tall one in yellow worth about $15. Then we have a skinny one. You never see them skinny. They're always in the full dresses, and she's worth about $20. Here we have a music box Bradley doll worth $15, and then this one is worth about $12. The red one's worth about $12. And then this little angel is worth about $15. And the one in green and black's worth about $15 as well. July doll from Bren's is worth about $15. It's not a Bradley doll. In this set of 6 dolls, we're just gonna average these at about $10 each. Some might be worth a little bit less and some a little bit more, but we'll say $60 for all of those. And then we have several more coming up. We'll kind of go through these fast. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all worth about $10 each. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 are worth 10, and the one with the umbrella at the end is worth 15. We have an African American one that's super hard to find. She's worth about $35. And then these 3, the fancy ones and the nun, they're worth about $15 each. And then we have these really large ones. These are super big, and I'd say they're worth about $20 each. A lot of people don't like to get them this big because they take up so much room, but about $20 each is fair. Now this one's not Bradley, but she's pretty cool. All right, then we have a couple more here. These 2 are worth about $10 each. She's not Bradley or Bren's. I don't know who she's from, and I love this one with the patchwork. That's very 70s. And then these 2 with a more realistic face, these are Bradley dolls, but they're worth about $15 each. Then we have several more of these. These are the cheaper ones, just the real lightweight ones that you can win at carnivals and just pick up everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are worth $10 each. And then these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are also worth $10 each. And then we have these that are a little fancier. These 2 are worth $15 each. And then these 2 at the end are worth $10 each. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are all worth $10 each. And then this music box is worth about $15. And the Christmas one, she's worth about $20. These 2 at the end are a little bit fancier. They're worth about $12 each. I love Bradley dolls. They're very 70s. All right, we've got some large ones here. This Spanish one, she's worth about $20. And this big one here, she's also worth about $20. And then we've got one more here, also worth about $20. We need to do a little TLC on her. And then this one's called Showgirl. She's worth about $20 as well. She's got a little tag at the bottom that says Showgirl. And this one next to her in the light purple is worth about $12. We've got a couple more. This one's worth about $12. And then this one is a little fancier. She's worth about $15. And then we have one more that's worth about $12. 70s, they did these Valentine boxes full of chocolate that were super fancy with flowers and ribbons and lace. And this empty box is huge and it's worth $50. All right, here we have a Debbie Reynolds paper doll set. It's worth about $10. And then we have this wooden Christmas postcard. We just hung it on the wall because it's pretty cool. It's worth about $7. I think I'll put that with all of our Christmas stuff at the Toy Museum. Let's see what else we have. This was on the wall. It's a little bridal party hat picture worth about $5. I think I got that from Pier 1. And I love these vintage pictures of these boats. They're worth about $12. They're from the 60s. I might hang those in the men's restroom. Those are pretty cool. Got a ton of Barbies. All these Barbies are loose, and we're going to say about $5 each on these, even though some are worth a little bit more. But this is a set of 10 right here, so that's $50. Then these are swimsuit dolls, but they're like in mint condition, so I'm going to appraise these more about $8 each, and there's 10 of those, so that's $80 more we can add to our total. And then these dolls, we're going to go back to about $5 each, and here this is another set of 10, so that's $50 more to add to our total. Even though I see some that are worth more than $5. All right, now this set's definitely worth 10 each. These are Tropical Splash, Barbie and Skipper dolls, a Mycene doll, a Mulan doll with the extended hair you can tie on, and then a Jasmine doll from the Prince of Egypt doll. I think this is a superhero doll in the pink, I'm not sure, but she's got a full gown on, and then a Pepsi doll. So those are $10 each. And then this set will go back to about $5 each, and we have 10 here, so that's another $50 to add to our overall grand total. Then in the back of the shelf, I found these Dream Ella dolls still in their box, and we have 3 of these, and these are worth $15 each, so that's another $45 we can add to our overall grand total. $5, $10, and $15 really adds up at the end of the video. All right, now this shelf, these dolls are a little bit fancier, so we're gonna do these about $10 each. I see a Princess Leia doll, a Christy Yamaguchi, 70s dolls, some My Scene dolls, some witch Halloween dolls, and a princess doll. So that's $100. And then we've got 4 mermaids we found. These are worth at least $12 each. So that's $48 we can add to our total. Here we have another set of dolls. I think this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first 8 are going to be worth about $5 each, and these last 2 are going to be worth about $8 each. And then this whole set, these are pretty cool. All of these are going to be worth about $8. $10 of those. All right, these first 4 dolls in the swimsuits are going to be worth about $8 each. They're in mint condition, straight out of the box, just been on a shelf. And then the one with the afro is worth about $10. And these 3 from the Pearl Beach line, they're worth $18 each. And that last midge is worth about $10. I think they're all very cool. These from the Pearl Beach line are, I think, from the 90s. I have another row of 10 dolls, and these are all worth about $8 each. They're just in, like I said, mint condition, straight out of the box and just on a doll stand. So I think they're worth more than 5. We'll say about 8. Then we have another row here. Again, these are all going to be worth about $8. Some of them could be worth more than that, but there's 4 more right there. And then here we have, I think, another set of 10 at $8 each. So that's another $80. Found these 2 Asian dolls. We'll move over to all of our Asian toys, and they're worth about $5 each. And then I found all these little hollow dolls. These used to be the Dollar Tree dolls and the Kmart dolls that were like 99 cents or $1.99. But we've just had a ton of these over the years. They're all super lightweight and hollow on the inside. These were the cheaper forms of Barbies if you couldn't afford real Barbies. And we have a total of 30 of these dolls. I see a couple. That's a Princess Diana with a purple jacket on. But we're just going to say these are worth about $2 each to make it easy. And we have 30 of these. There's another Princess Diana in the silver. So that's about $60 worth of these hollow dolls we can add to our overall grand total at the end of the video. All right, and here's my helper Daisy. She loves helping me and seeing it all on videotape. Look at that smile, so cute. We're gonna go to a couple of these vintage dolls real quick. First, we have this vintage baby stroller. It does have a crack in the handle, but it's still worth about $30. It's hard to find. Have this vintage doll in the yellow, probably worth about $10. They're not super valuable. Her dress, they start disintegrating after a while because they use cheap lace. Now, this doll does have her shoes. She's worth about $30. And a funny story, we got her at a church sale. My nephew PJ hates these dolls, and he got out of the car to go to the restroom, and I moved the doll in the seat next to him to freak him out. It didn't even work. I thought I was going to get a good laugh. Now, this little doll is a music box. It's not something I would normally keep. There's my baby. And then it was my mom, so I am going to keep it, and it's worth about $10. I love Daisy was sniffing my mom's doll. This doll, she looks like she's from the 20s or something. She's worth about $10. And then there's another vintage doll in a white lace dress worth about $10. And then this is a roller skate doll from 1984 called a Hang 10 Kimberly. She's worth about $25. And then we have this doll. I don't know why I call her Martha Washington, but she's worth about $18. She's in really good shape. And we've got this really big baby doll from the 60s in a red outfit worth about $30. Then off the wall, I found a couple plates. We have a Shirley Temple plate. I started to say template. It's worth about $15. I think these are from Danbury Mint. And then we have Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music. You see, I paid $2 for it, but it's worth about $15. Have these Victorian paper dolls that are worth about $6 for the whole set. We'll probably move that with our Victorian collection. And look, there goes my helper Daisy. And then we have a little Madame Alexander doll called Dolly, worth about $15. An Austrian girl doll worth about $15. Mother Goose worth $20 with the glasses. A Prairie Girl worth $10. And Little Red Riding Hood worth $15. And now Daisy's helping me check out this chair I'm about to show off. I had this old theater chair in there where you could sit down and enjoy all the dolls if you wanted to. And it's worth about $50. How can you not love that cute dog's face? All right, then we have some of those dolls from the 50s and 60s that close their eyes, and we have a ton of these. So I just put them all together, and roughly they're worth about $12 each. And we have 13 of those, so we're going to go ahead and add another $156 to our overall grand total. So that's everything we have for this video. Let's see how much everything was worth. With our previous 450 videos of value on my toy collection, our collection was worth $1,113,067. Now with this video, with all of our Bradley dolls, our Barbies, and all that miscellaneous stuff, we can add another $2,996 to our total. So that means for episode 451 of value in my toy collection, our new grand total is $1,116,063. I always wanted to say I have $1 million toy collection, and now I can, but I'm not really a millionaire. I'm just a toyonaire because it's not cash money. But I've been saving these toys all my life, going to thrift stores and flea markets, garage sales, toy stores, and looking online, and it's just accumulated to this big old total. Maybe one day when I retire, I can actually sell it and have some retirement money. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I like to see what all I have and what it's actually worth. And I'm also putting all the toys on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please think about doing so because it really helps us grow. So until our next video, we will see you then.